Hey guys, welcome. Ryan Meyer here for the FISE World Series 2018. We are live in Edmonton, Canada, and I have a special guest with me. This is none other than Dennis Enarson. Dennis, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on your little show.
It's a big pleasure having you actually out at the FISE World Series. What kind of sparked your interest to get you going out to the FISE stops?
I've always seen them. It's crazy I haven't been. I've been so wrapped up in all the US contests with all the Do Tours and X Games and whatnot. Just so involved in my own little world, and I was always just watching FISE kind of as it came around on TV and everything. And there really wasn't much time for me to come out to these. And now that there's not as many cool ramp contests, I was like, this is the best one. So I better start getting involved, while I can. It's
really nice to see some guys like yourself, Daniel Sandoval, come out from the US and push into this kind of European scene. What do you think it holds for American athletes coming overseas and kind of competing on this European series?
I think the reason it's always dominated, the X Games and all the American contests, kind of always the Americans have a better advantage, is because time change is a huge thing. And I've always come to Europe for film contests and things like that, and it takes me a few days to get adjusted. So it's always been a little hard for me, and with the European contests, it's been especially hard for me because you just get there, show up, and have to just adjust to everything. But I think the older I'm getting, the more I'm learning my mind and body and how to run the time schedule thing, so it's getting a little easier. And I think that's one of the main reasons. Time change is a huge thing that people who don't travel don't understand. When your body wants to sleep, but they're calling your name for one of the biggest ramp contests in the world. And it's the same when Russians, for instance, or any Europeans fly all the way over to America for a big contest, and it's crazy.
You do a lot of video parts and filming and kind of riding street as well. What's the mindset going from that into a contest environment?
I've always kind of done that with riding street and filming parts and going on trips with my friends and riding contests in the middle. I just kind of, it's been like 10 years now, it's just kind of how I run my life, pretty much home for 6 months and then gone for 6 months, just contest, filming, just doing it. And it kind of, that's like my balance. When I'm home, just chill and focus on staying dialed, and when I'm gone, that helps me too, because always riding with some of the best riders in the world, every other weekend. That's a huge way to push yourself.
How did you really get into BMX? This is such an integral part of your life, and it's such a tight-knit community. It obviously is kind of what you live and breathe now, but how did you flow into that living in San Diego?
It was really natural, actually. I was always gravitated towards motorcycles and skateboarding and rollerblades and bikes. To me, it was all just, I liked that. I tried baseball and soccer and all that, and I had fun with it, but the team sports to me were way less fun because you had to rely on your team, which is cool. That's another side of life that people need to know how, is to work with other people. But I always gravitated towards action sports because it was all on your own, And there was an X Games in San Diego, and we watched the bikes, and I was just like, that is the coolest thing ever. But yeah, I just naturally liked BMX and just kept doing it. I couldn't stop doing it. It wasn't like, why are you doing this? It's why I couldn't not do it,
It's kind of the cool thing about having a sports event like this, where it showcases a lot of different varieties of action sports. Do you like that when you come out here and it's not just a BMX ruled event, it's not just the freestyle kids, but you can watch everything as well?
I love it, because you get so wrapped up in your own world with just what you're doing. For me, it's always just park and street, that's my life, and trails too, but not as much because where I live. But park and street's what I see all the time, and then I come here and get to watch Matthias and all his friends, Alex. They're just their world, seeing their life and what they do, and it's so beautiful, their whole scene they have. And same with the Montpellier, I got to watch Flatland again, and all these I go to, I want to watch Flatland. I love it. Montpellier is crazy. It reminds me of how X Games were in their heyday, the prime of X Games going on right now in France. Everyone always told me, you're going to freak out over this event, and I was like, I've been to everything. No, I'm not. No way. And I got there, and I was like, this is fucking crazy. No way is it this crazy here. And it was just 7 days of just chaos and action sports festival. I loved it.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time, Dennis, having the chat with us out here in Edmonton. Check us out later.